the book of genealogy of Jesus Christ is in Matthew chapter 1, verse 1 to 17. I don't need to read the whole connection of the genealogy, but could you give a little catechesis on why this is important?
Sure, Terry. Reading the genealogy, and as you know, there are two different versions in the different Gospels. I've always loved the Gospel of John's approach that goes, way beyond the genealogy and just goes to the very beginning of creation.
Yeah.
Because that's really what we're talking about. And it's not, I think, not by accident that John's Gospel is the last one written.
Yeah.
The church has had a little more time to really reflect on this absolutely wondrous mystery of God's Son coming to be born among us. And what the genealogies do is a number of things, but I think one of the most important things is they really emphasize this Jesus Christ is a real man, has ancestors just like all of us. And those ancestors are connected to the whole history of Israel that is about preparing for the coming of Jesus. So all of those names in the gospel that, there's some interesting names there. And we've all heard it proclaimed, Aminadab and Nachshon and Rehoboam. And names that, have you ever met anybody named Rehoboam?
No.
But they're reminders of different moments in all of that history and how Jesus is the fulfillment for the prophets and for the people of Israel.
Yeah.
And I think it's very important to be aware of that. It may, when that gospel is proclaimed at Mass, it may feel a little strange, but it's important because it reminds us of the story of Israel, which is our story as the new Israel, being the story of the chosen people of God.
Yes.
And it reminds us that Jesus is really from Mary. He's part of that.
Yeah.
He's the culmination of all those others that were born through the ages, his ancestors.
Yes.
And I think it's an important reminder. And I think that as I understand, the gospel writers included it because they really were emphasizing that this was a man, Jesus of Nazareth, who really walked among them, walked this earth, but he was also God's eternal Son, as is expressed in John's gospel. So it, is an important element of knowing Jesus, to know the human reality. We know that he's fully God and fully man. Yeah. And the fully man part is really emphasized with his genealogy.